After the Jurassic World incident, Masrani Global essentially abandoned Isla Nublar and washed their hands of the situation. Now, as Mount Sibo threatens to erupt, Claire Deering's Dinosaur Protection Group has not only made plans to move to the island and rescue the dinosaurs there, thus setting up the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but they've also taken over the Jurassic World tourism website. Now, if you go onto this website, you get a multitude of hints and clues as to what exactly has happened to Isla Nublar since the end of the last film, and some hints as to what could happen in the future. So we're going to take a little look at all of that today. First of all, the Raptor Paddock update confirms that of the 4 raptors that appeared in the first film, only Blue has survived. Though her location is currently unknown, we assume they've got a method of tracking her, and that's how Claire knows she's still alive before they actually arrive on the island. That is, of course, how she convinces Owen to actually go and join her on the island in the first place. The T-Rex paddock has been similarly destroyed, but it also informs us that not only was it built to hold Rexy, as seen in Jurassic World, but a juvenile T-Rex too. I've recently been suggesting, due to images of the LEGO Fallen Kingdom sets, that Rexy may well have a baby in the next film. If Masrani knew she was pregnant before building the enclosure, they would likely build it with that juvenile in mind. Given that we don't see any glimpse of a juvenile T-Rex in Jurassic World, this is to me probably the most damning evidence that Rexy is in fact pregnant and will in fact have a child at some point during the next film, perhaps setting up the next lineage of Tyrannosaurus Rexes, of Hero Rexes for our films. Though most of the systems in the park, the monorail, the gyrospheres, the telephones, the underwater observatory, the toilets, etc., are all sort of dead, understandably, one is mentioned as operable on the Isla Nublar map, the gondola ride. A car that would take you up high into the reaches of Isla Nublar, perhaps high enough to avoid the pyroclastic flow and lava that will be sweeping the island. It's just a little point that's interesting to note how that might feature in the film. There's also a mention to how the herbivores have gathered together in the northwest, how the greenhouse has been destroyed and how the plant life is now spreading with abandon across the entire island, how smaller dinosaurs have taken home in the Gulf Coast towards the southwest, and how Rexy is now wandering the island as she pleases. But finally, we have the Mosasaurus. Now, a glance at the official site will give you the following information for the Mosasaurus feeding show. Feeding show is closed. I know that wasn't really as much as I was hoping to say. That's all. That is literally all there is. But that is actually a recent update, and some people have kept images of what it used to say. Just a few days ago, actually, it said, "The Mosasaurus is free and unaccounted for in terrestrial waters." Now, clearly the producers regard this as too much of a spoiler. We haven't actually seen the Mosasaurus in any of the Fallen Kingdom trailers so far. We did see it in a little Snapchat preview very briefly, confirming it'll be in the film. And of course, we've seen some images of it on, say, binders and stuff like that, but we've never actually seen it in the trailer. Clearly, they're trying to keep it as a secret for the general public. So they clearly regard this as too much of a spoiler. But for now, for definite now, we know that the Mosasaurus encounter in Fallen Kingdom is going to occur outside of the park itself. Perhaps as all of those dinosaurs plummet off the cliff in hopes of escaping the Mount Sibo eruption. I would actually hedge a bet that the opening of the film will contain the Mosasaurus. We've heard time and time again how it's going to be like a James Bond, quite dramatic, epic opening. I think the destruction of the Mosasaurus sort of viewing chamber may well be how they kick off the entire film, and the Mosasaurus is going to escape from the island as it kind of crumbles around her. But what of the other dinosaurs? The Mosasaurus Rex with the raptors, we've mentioned all those. Well, if you go off the Jurassic World website and check out the Dinosaur Protection Group website, one that offers a ton of interesting information that we're going to get to in future videos, they've got some information. Assuming they're using the tracking technology we've seen throughout the films, they've designed a very interesting list of currently living and extinct dinosaurs on Isla Nublar. Spinosaurus has apparently been moved, or there's a different Spinosaurus on Isla Nublar, and it's wiped out. Ceratosaurus, gone. Deinonychus, gone. It's also interesting to note that a lot of the extinct dinosaurs on this list are ones that have barely been in the films at all, or only had tiny roles. Ceratosaurus may be one of the bigger ones on this entire list. And all the remaining alive dinosaurs basically exactly match up with ones we've already spotted in the Fallen Kingdom trailers, or that are featured in past films a bit more prominently. including the Suchomimus. Could that be the confirmation of that mystery theropod that people have been debating a little bit in the trailer? Of course, the Allosaurus is shown, but there is another theropod that is probably, by the looks of it, a Suchomimus. The only dinosaur on this list that doesn't seem to fit is Microceratops. That was actually featured quite prominently in the first novel, and Colin Trevorrow recently mentioned it on Twitter as one of his top 3 favourite dinosaurs, so I think that's pretty solid confirmation we're going to see Microceratops in the film. Isla Nublar is clearly in disarray. A third of the species have been wiped out, the park is overgrown and covered in extinct plant life, well, not extinct anymore. Large carnivores are wandering the isle as they please, and slowly but surely the dinosaurs are beginning to die out even more. There's a brief mention in the petting zoo that the dinosaurs have already worked through all of their supplied food. I wonder if we may even see a return to the notion of the lysine contingency. But we know, despite all this trauma, that an even more cataclysmic event is incoming. And the DPG website gives us a glimpse into the future and shows us the potential impact of Mount Sibo as lava and ash burn and sear our beloved island, the home of Jurassic Park. Could Fallen Kingdom actually spell the end of Isla Nublar forever? Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider smashing that like button down below, it really helps me out, and also hitting the subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with brand new videos about dinosaurs, animals, aliens, and everything else we do here on the BestInSlot channel. All of you who have subscribed so far, that's awesome. Make sure you hit that little bell icon, I'll highlight it now, otherwise you may actually miss out on the content anyway because YouTube is silly. Thank you guys so much, much love.